of how things are now, and it really blows my mind. It's so biblical, about in the last days you won't be able to tell the seasons apart. So I was actually just mesmerized at being able to be on the beach less than a week from November 2020. So it's good. My week is good. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, that's good. That's good. I had a good week so far too. Well, I mean, it's only Tuesday, but this past Saturday was the beginning of early voting. As everybody knows, I was at the polls. I did do my early voting. I accomplished that. It was a big turnout. I'm in Long Island, so we had a large turnout. A lot of people there. The polls opened at 10 a.m. I got there like 9:20. Waited online, but as soon as they opened the door, the line moved pretty quickly, and it was good. I got it over with. I'm happy that I did. I still have some people, even family members, that I'm trying to talk to. They're talking about mail-in ballots and stuff. I'm like, you don't really want to do that mail-in ballot stuff because they are rigging this election like right before our eyes. Okay, there was a mail-in ballot box that caught on fire. There's in certain states they're building fake mail-in ballot boxes, so when you put in the ballot box, they can just take it and do whatever they want with it. I think the best way is to just go there, you do what you gotta do, you put it in the machine, and even if they rig it, at least you know that you put it in the machine, okay?
Exactly. But the other challenge to that is because COVID is here, the pandemic is here, we really got to use wisdom. And a lot of people can't stand long on the lines, and then they're definitely going to breach the rules and regulations in lieu of social distancing.
Yeah.
I was out eating earlier. Don't judge me.
You got to eat.
I was out eating earlier, and my girlfriend / sister, we were just looking at people and we were like, social distance, please. So can you imagine if we're on a line in a restaurant, public place getting food, and they're not considerate about social distancing or wearing their mask, then what do you think they're going to do at the polls?
Yeah.
Is a problem, and they're not going to take the temperature of everybody that's coming in and voting. And then the other thing is they don't want to clean after 1 million people because a lot of people didn't work the polls this year. That's another reason why they're doing the mail-in ballots and all of that. So there's a lot of different temperature gauging in lieu of why there has to be mail-in voting.
Yeah, exactly. When I was at the polls, but I mean, I guess it depends on where you're at too. I'm in Long Island. I've voted and voted in Brooklyn, and it was a totally different experience. Even though I feel like being in Brooklyn and Long Island, and it's COVID too, so they're acting a little different because of COVID. But yeah, there was no social distancing. They didn't have any lines on the pavement to say, okay, 6 feet apart, anything like that. But most people had their mask on that I noticed. But I mean, at this point, it is what it is. I just feel like we still gotta just try to get out there and vote. For those that can, and I always tell people, don't complain if you did not go out and vote. There's a lot of people that are gonna complain, and they're like, "I'm not voting." But then if Trump wins, they're gonna complain. That's just my feeling. Don't.
Now listen to the next few comments. Listen attentively. Here we go.
You said it. You said once Trump wins, I want everybody, all of the viewers, to hear what you just said.
No,
don't try to change it now. Don't try to change it now. Don't try to change it. You said once Trump wins. I didn't say it.
I said
it first.
I mean,
I'm going to say it for the end of the broadcast. He's going to change his conversation to if. I'm going to say once Trump wins. And then let's just back up a little bit. And thank you for understanding my personality. The thing is, in the United States, we are such a land of the free. Land of the free, do what we want, say what we want, come and go as we please. We're not a disciplined nation.
Right. Exactly.
Okay, we're just not a disciplined nation. And so we feel like we can still complain even though we didn't do our part. Okay, exactly. Because freedom of speech, which is a problem. Because we used to say a street term, don't talk about it, be about it. You know, and unfortunately, we are living in a time where people will say whatever they want to say, whenever they want to say it, but they did not do what was necessary in order to get the outcome that they really so desired to get. So I agree with you with that one. Don't complain, everybody, about the outcome if you didn't do your income, which is to go out and to vote, or to not even just go out and vote, but the rallying.
Yeah.
You know, I've been traveling lately, and I see rallying for another side, and the other side has less rallying and going out and promoting and pushing for those votes to increase.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of times, you know, like I know Joe Biden's camp, certain people in Kamala Harris camp, they got coronavirus. So, you know, so they actually, that's why she had to go quarantine. So, you know, they had to have a reason why they haven't really been campaigning the way that they would want to. But you know, Trump and his people, they don't really care. So they're just in it to win it, whatever they got to do. But as we say, with people going out to the polls, if you can go out and stand on line for all night long for a pair of Jordans or even an iPhone, like the same people that would do that are probably not even going to go to the poll. That's the thing that gets me upset.
Yeah, and you have a point there, because the priorities of what's really important and the perspective of individuals of all ethnicities, it's really heartbreaking and heart-wrenching to watch, you know, how we devalue the land of the free.
Yeah.
The United States of America, where everybody wanted to come to our country, you know, and then how we devalue it being here and having the accessibility to so much, and that but we don't know the worth of what we have access to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. I want.
So listen, we are having this conversation on this interview, and I am basically enjoying myself. And so as we continue to converse, we got a couple of people to make some comments. And there's one young man by the name of Bryant, and he made a comment in the news feed. And so we just had to address the comment. Listen up.
So he has a comment, and he's going to get this ball rolling with the comments. All right, so he says, but the people still voted for Hillary Clinton and the electors voted for Trump, and that's how he got in. So technically, didn't the people do what they were supposed to do?
No. I mean, it's simple. When you take a tally, if you will, if you total all of Americans and you tally that up in conjunction with who voted, it does not equal the numbers. Let's say it like this: the numbers does not add up. So no, everybody didn't do what they're supposed to do. It came to the point where, like you said, people, millennials of all nationalities and ethnicities did not go out and do what they should have done, but had it been a new Apple phone or one of those games that they play, you know, gaming is a big deal in our country. All right. Had it been the new TV that's out or whatever, they would have done more to acquire those things than to invest in what's important and what's going to benefit us in the long run, not to be personable or selfish in their decision making. And this is what happens in our country, quote unquote, the land of the free.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Now, I don't know if they would need to say, hey, all right, everybody that comes out, we're going to give you like a device or something, you're gonna get a free iPhone or something. But I mean,
that shouldn't have to be
money.
an incentive for you to do.
It shouldn't have to be. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's childish, so to speak. That, you know, if you clean up your room and you do it without me having to tell you, I'll get you the latest Jordans.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I get you the latest Jordans, but my rent is 2 months behind.
Yeah.
You know, because something is going to go lacking, you know what I mean, in that instance. But I'm just saying, just getting to the place where we do what we know we need to do, you know, to get the outcome that we're expecting.
Yeah. And I have a good example of that too. Even in my household, you know, the grandparents will pay my kids to like do little stuff for them. Oh, can you rearrange my like, can you put the laces in my shoes or something? You know, can you do this? Can you do that? Like, you know, a little change or whatever. Okay, that's what grandparents do. You know, it's fine. I have no problem with that. But then when I say, all right, make sure that sink is empty. How much you gonna pay me? I said that your payment is not for me to tear your tail. That's gonna be your payment.
Good answer.
You're not gonna get a whooping tonight.
Oh,
that's how I grew up, old school. If I ever asked my mother, could she pay me to clean to do a chore?
She'll pay me no mind, is what she's gonna do.
Exactly.
That's how she's gonna pay me no mind.
Exactly.
And at the end of the day, we didn't question our parents like these children do now. We just did not question them. You know, but again, this is another time span. It's a new era. It's a new day. Everything is abuse.
Mm-hmm.
Everything.
Yeah.
Is abuse. So we have to comply in order not to be fined or to bring embarrassment to the household.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. But so we're gonna get into politics, but since I have you on, Dr. Joe, I gotta pick your brain on a couple of things. You know, whenever Dr. Jill is on, ladies and gentlemen, the show is not gonna be normal. Okay, so you know.
Did he just say when Dr. Jill is on, things are not going to be normal? So, like, which way should I take that, y'all? Wait a minute. Let's keep going.
That makes me sound like I'm not normal. No, I know what you mean.
It's not going to be a typical show, I'll say that. Yeah. But I was thinking about this today, and I'm like, 2020, was not a good year so far. It has not been. Now, there are some people that will disagree. Well, most people are going to say, yes, it was a bad year. But then you have other people that are writing books. People have probably gotten jobs. People have accomplished things in 2020. I see people that are having this catchphrase, producing in a pandemic, you know, like they're writing books, they're doing this. Yes, that's all good. But, you know, I looked at it and I said, what is the first thing that was a sign that 2020 was going to be a bad year? The first thing that happened. Do you know the first thing that happened in 2020 that kind of gave off a sign that it was going to be a bad year?
Well, I don't agree with it being a bad year. Okay, but I would say for those that want to say that, I would say go biblical. I gotta go prophetic. Was the winds.
Okay.
Between January and March 1st of 2020, there was ridiculous winds. We call it the east wind.
Right.
And these winds were so uncommon till we should have known something is stirring in the earth, because no human being controls the winds.
Right.
No human being controls the waves. We know that. Okay, so it was very uncommon, and it was just so out of the ordinary, and it kept happening repeatedly over and over again. I mean, the next week it would be 80 miles an hour, 110 miles an hour wind. I remember one night I was out with my crazy self. I didn't realize that what was actually going on, because I just do what I want to do, like a dummy, okay? and without watching the news and really understanding what was going on. And I came outside, and my umbrella it was like away with the wind. I thought that the wind was literally going to pick me up with the umbrella and just swirl me around. That's how horrible the weather was. And I prayed. I never forget. I was like, Lord, just please let me get home. I said, the rod is for the fool's back. I said, but please, I couldn't understand what was actually going on. So I would say the winds was the first sign for me.
Okay.
And whenever things like that happen, so uncommon, and it continuously occurs, I always take these things as signs.
Right.
I definitely do not consider it as Mother Nature, an act of Mother Nature and things like that. No. We have to begin to pay attention to the elements, and what God is allowing to transpire will always give you an inclination about something is getting ready to happen. Because when you look at wind, it stirs, right?
Yeah.
So then the common mind would say something's stirring.
Yeah, exactly.
Something's getting ready to happen. When the dust settles, when all of this settles, what's going to happen? I'm telling you, if you go back and look at the weather and all of that, as soon as those winds kind of settled, the pandemic hit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my view on that.
Okay. Yeah. And I agree. And I want to clarify something. And that's why when we have Dr. Jill on, ladies and gentlemen, she is a teacher, and we can all learn something. And that's why I can go back to these things and learn how to really, say what I really mean to say. So yes, I wouldn't say 2020 is a bad year. I would say it's a surprising year at best. I would
challenging.
Yes, that's the word. Thank you.
Okay.
Very, very challenging year. And Brian put it in the comments too. And this is exactly what I was thinking.
Come on, Brian.
That the first thing that made me feel like, whoa. And I actually didn't think about it until now. But Kobe Bryant passing away was like one of the first deaths that like really was like, what are you talking about? It happened on a Sunday. I was at church. We hear that he died in the car crash. Then like
an airplane.
Helicopter.
Listen, we kind of messed that up. First it was an airplane, then it was a car crash, but we know disrespect to the life that Kobe Bryant lived, and we did make that correction. It was in a helicopter. Let's continue the interview.
Yeah, helicopter, because he like travels in the helicopter all the time. Just knowing that, it was like, it was crazy. I think your mic is muted, Dr. Jill.
Yeah, I try to mute it because we're talking.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I'm definitely in agreement with you and Brian. It didn't affect me. It did alarm me.
Right.
It did give us a sense of sensitizing that anybody can die. Like people were like, well, Kobe Bryant. All right, so we understand that he is an icon in the athletic world, but he's a human.
Yeah.
Just like everybody else.
Yeah.
And it's so sad that we don't prepare for death. We just feel like certain people shouldn't die, or certain people shouldn't get in trouble, or certain things shouldn't happen, when our whole mindset needs to change concerning that.
Exactly. Yep. Exactly. Yeah. I'm not gonna say it affected me. It's not like I lost sleep, but it was like, wow, like it was a little sad, a little troubling inside. It's like,
I say the daughter. What really intrigued me about the whole thing is I'm a go godly. You know me. Mm-hmm. It's like, I'm not going to say she was his favorite child, but they had so much in common. And for the Lord to allow them both to go the same day, knowing that she wouldn't be able to live without her father and live a wholesome and healthy and mental, life without him.
Yeah.
I mean, the other children, they're suffering, yes, but they're still living. Their wife, she's still living. She's doing her thing now.
Yeah.
She ain't went somewhere and sat down. She ain't mowing long. She was on that morning bitch long. Hello. She got that check. She cashed that check, and she used those dollars to wipe those tears away. Glory to God. But that's just my opinion. But the daughter, that young girl, and look how much she accomplished.
Yeah.
And she transitioned out right with her father. And even the mother said it. I call her Lady Bryant. She said the daughter wouldn't have had it any other way. She would not have wanted to live without her father. So things like that amaze me at how God allows things. You know, as I teach, I always teach, think about the ways of God. Like, we don't understand it, but think about the way that he allowed that to occur. You know, and how it affected the entire, my son is making comments, the entire world. Okay? My son knows I'm hilarious. He's
Yes. So speaking of dollars, and I'm glad you said that. Breonna Taylor.
Yeah.
Her family gets paid $20 million. And I feel like it was like, here, take $20 million and leave us alone now. Shut up. I don't know. I was thinking about it. I'm like, if one of my kids died, like, or was killed like that, is me getting $20 million really going to make me feel better? It's like, even when you talk about revenge, is that officer going to jail going to make me feel better? No. I mean, I'll feel better in the sense that that cop can't do it to somebody else again. Mm-hmm. But right now, there's no justice. You know, the sheetrock got more justice than Breonna Taylor. You know, and they want to call it, what they call it, wanton endangerment, where you just shooting into, you know, shooting without knowing where you're shooting. Yes. So it's like, that's more justice than actual Breonna Taylor. But they did get $20 million. I mean, if I got $20 million just because and nobody had to die, I would be very happy. But if I have to lose someone I really care about for $20 million, I don't know. I really don't know. What are your thoughts?
Okay, so let me twist it and twist everybody's face up.
And one more thing. And I'm talking about, okay, like your son. Like, I'm talking about like your flesh and blood, whatever. Someone that you like, if they were to die tonight, you would probably go crazy. And then they say, okay, well, here's $20 million. Like, okay, what's your thought? Go ahead.
Okay, first of all, I've had people that die. That's number one, and I didn't get no $20 million.
Right.
That's number one. I wish I did get the $20 million, but I didn't. All right. The other thing is, I believe before the very foundations of the earth that certain people was born to die. Mm-hmm. Certain people. Martin Luther King, born to die. Malcolm X, born to die. Okay? The lives and the families that assisted their mission that died prior to Harriet Tubman, the people that were with her, they were born to die. No one ever talks about that. That's why we're so shocked when death comes. Mm-hmm. You know, that's why we're thrown off and we start this hating and all. No one talks about being born to die. Their mission was accomplished. Watch this. And in order for change to come, death comes first.
Right.
Okay? There's always going to be something that sets off the revolution.
Listen, thank y'all for joining. You're listening to Rough Riders Radio, the Gospel Ride with your girl, Dr. Jill Mattocks, and I have been having an awesome time listening to the pre-recorded interview with Black News Undisputed with the host, Andre. And we having a conversation about a multiplicity of things, and I find it quite amazing. So I want to welcome you all that are just coming in on the Gospel Ride, second half of the interview on November 1st. This is awesome. Again, we have 2 more days before the presidential election. 2 more days before the presidential election, November 3rd. So we're going to continue this conversation. I want you guys to get into the posture of prayer. Your prayers count, okay? Irregardless to what you have been told over the years, your prayers count and they are being heard. And we all need to remain in that posture. Again, thank you for joining us. Let's listen up.
Okay, and revolution is here again. And I believe that Breonna Taylor was a part of it. Is her life worth more than $20 million, $22 trillion, billion? We can't put a price tag on life.
Yeah, we can't.
Period. But let me say this. Had it been another country, you wouldn't have got that money. Only in the United States of a good right America, the land of the free. And you think about it.
Yeah.
This had been
Jamaica.
Another country.
Yep.
Would not have gotten that money.
$1, not even $1, probably.
Hello, lights. So that's the way I look at it. And thank God they did get something. How many other people have lost family members, and didn't receive 5 cents, nor did they get any news coverage? You understand? They didn't respect that life. So again, she was a part of the revolution that is actually taking place, that is prompting us into this new era. And whenever there's a shifting going on, you're always going to get war and you're going to get death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you heard it, folks. You heard it, folks. Leave some comments. Let us know what you guys think in the comments. But I'm glad you're here, Dr. Jill, because there's so much that's just on my mind. I know we're supposed to be talking about voting, but sometimes we gotta get these little things in here, because that's why we're voting. We're voting so we can try to make a change. But now I know you know about Amy Coney Barrett. Amy Coney Barrett. I forgot what her name is, but anyway, she's been sworn in as the Supreme, Court Justice. That's what Trump wanted, so she's in there now. I mean, she's in there. Okay.
Stop saying what Trump wanted. I think we're giving Trump, and I'm getting ready to shock everybody, I'm a Trump supporter. Andre didn't even know that. I was waiting to tell you that. Okay, stop giving him so much credit. Please, stop. Okay, it is inevitable that a female has to take a high-ranking office because of the time span of the new era that we're in. Women have been doing the job, and especially in other countries, if you will, for hundreds and hundreds of years, okay? And now, finally, if you will, a female is positioned in a position that has never occurred before. I don't care what nationality she is or she's not. She is a woman. And it is inevitable that these things transpire. So please, let's stop giving Trump so much credit like he's God. Okay? He is placed here to do things that would have never been done because he's crazy enough and bold enough to do it, but it has to be done. Certain things have to transpire in the earth realm.
Yeah.
But who is God going to use to get it done? All right, let's sidebar, because I know I got some people like, this lady is crazy. Yes, I am. Watch this. Pharaoh. He used Pharaoh to get some work done. Okay, he used Nebuchadnezzar to get some things done. He's always going to find somebody that we're opposing to first of all, grab our attention, number one. Number two, to challenge us to be realigned to righteousness. Who else? We ain't gonna listen to nobody else until we get a nut in there. We always got to have a Pharaoh in our lives, and we always got to have a Nebuchadnezzar in our life.
So let me just interject there for a second and give the correct name of the female that is actually placed in office. And her name is Amy Coney Barrett. Amy Coney Connie Barrett. She's the Associated Justice of the United States Supreme Court. She was nominated by President Trump on September 29, 2020 to fill the vacancy opened by the death of Ruth Ginsburg. The United States Senate confirmed Amy Barrett, on October 26, 2020 by a vote of 52 to 48. She received commissioned the same day. So I wanted to just give some, I got to fact check to make sure that everything is in order, even though we're giving our perspective and our opinions. I like to give the facts as well. So that's what I wanted to interject. Let's continue the interview.
That makes sense.
So that's my thing. And I don't like when people give any human being the credit that they don't deserve, because he's not that powerful.
Right.
He's crazy, but I like him though. That's what remind me of black people. Black people crazy. We say what we want. We do whatever we want. Guess what? And we're reigning now like never before. And I tell people, whatever happens in the White House can happen in your house. Whatever happens in the White House will always happen in the church house. Who in the Blaisdell would have ever let somebody that doesn't even have a political background win one of the highest offices, the highest office in the United States of America? Okay, let's take our attention off of that and say, well, what is God saying? What is the message there? That I can do anything I want to do. I can become anybody I want to be, and nothing or nobody can't stop me. But because we didn't believe that with Obama, he allowed another nut to come in there.
Yeah.
For us to understand. Listen, I agree with some people about some of the stuff that has transpired since he's been in office, but I always go back and I ask God, why? Why would you allow it? What are we missing? We're so busy arguing. My sister and I were talking about this earlier, about how embarrassing, these debates are. On both sides. It's like you're embarrassed to be an American. Okay? Because they're asking questions. They're not even answering the questions. They're like two children in romper room, waiting to slander and rip each other to shreds. Really? Is that what America has come to? Or is that what America has always been? Is it really about them? Or is it about us?
Right.
And so this rigmarole that they're doing, calling a debate, it's disgusting. It's despicable. It's embarrassing. The other countries and nations are laughing at us. We've become a laughing stock. This guy has a fly in his head, opposing office, makes flyers the next day and commercials with a fly swat. That's so childish.
Yeah.
I cried. Of course, I didn't watch the debate because I didn't get into that nonsense. But the aftermath of it, and I'm looking and I'm like, and so you want me to vote for you? You're just as bad as him. We're in trouble. America is in trouble. America that has the dollar that says, "In God we trust." We lied. We lied. We don't trust in God. We trust in man. We trust in horses. We trust in chariots. We don't trust in God.
Oh, keep on going.
You didn't expect me to say that, what I said, right? I told my sister, I said, he really don't know. Nobody really knows. So let me say this. 4 years ago.
Since you said it, Brian said.
What Brian said?
He said my face changed.
So let me let y'all know that I shocked my interviewer with the last statements that I made concerning Trump and, being a Trump supporter. But listen to this about what's put on our coins and our dollar bills and things of that. Since 1956, "In God We Trust" has been the official motto of the United States of America. It uses it on all currency, dates to the Civil War. Though opponents argue that the phrase amounts to a governmental endorsement of religion and thus violates the establishment's cause of the First Amendment, federal courts have consistently upheld the constitutionality of the national motto. The national motto. And that's exactly what it is. It's just a motto, because we do not have any actions to go along with that statement. And how many people make statements and have mottos and don't have any actions that align themselves with the fulfillment of what they've just stated. So I'm going to sidebar right here and say something crazy again. Politicians remind me of preachers. Politicians remind me of preachers. In lieu of not having the qualifications to solidify their statements and align it with their lifestyles, where we just say anything and do anything and no one reprimands the individual or holds them accountable for their actions or their lack of integrity thereof. Character is one of the main things that should be considered when we're placing people in position. And unfortunately, even in the church house, character is not emphasized on. Gifts and the ability to hold the attention of an audience has always superseded character. And I was doing a study yesterday, listening to some of Miles Monroe. He transitioned as well, but he had a wonderful guidelines on what it takes to be a good leader, to be a good person in position. And he aligned it with the book of Genesis, the first chapter, where it says, "In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, and then it was without form and void. Then he breathed life into us, and we became a living soul." Okay. And so with God down on the inside of us, we do have the ability to perform in a righteous standard, but we choose to do otherwise, if you will. So it says we are created in his image. Image signifies the characteristics of God, the innate abilities to operate in a righteous stance or standard, if you will, given the guidelines of his breath that is down on the inside of us. And so having that being said, then why do we not hold accountable people in office as well as higher offices of hierarchy in the church? So when you hear me say that whatever happens in the White House happens in the church house, whatever happens in the church house happens in the White House, because it's always been that way. We tend to turn our eyes, we close our eyes to facts. We close our eyes to disgusting behavior patterns that should be addressed, if you will. But because the person is doing such a great job in that office, then we continue to leave them there because they're voted in, or because it is centered around money, okay, clout, positions, connections and things of that nature, being in the church house and the White House. So this world here in the United States of America, we really, really have a long way to go. We really have a long way to go, but I believe that all these things are happening so that God can get our attention, and so that we have an opportunity for realignment. Okay. There's another text in the Bible that talks about take the mote out of your own eye. And I believe that if we begin to do that and not just read that, then work. And then another scripture says, work out your own soul salvation with fear and trembling. Fear meaning reverence of who God is, not just in the heavens, but who he is in the earth realm, giving us the dominion to rule the earth, not one another. And this is the other thing of this competitive spirit that I call it a demonic spirit that has always taken over, where we are so competitive against one another that we would totally disagree, even when we do agree with what the next person is saying and doing, but just to upstage them or to outrank them, or to, I call it, to one up on them, to feature our own perspective on a matter. We will often tend to discredit the other individual just to highlight our perspective and or opinion, stance, or something like that. Listen, to our viewers here at the Gospel Ride, I need us to begin to pray, okay? Whether people consider you righteous or unrighteous, whether they consider you saved or unsaved, we all have the freedom of prayer, the freedom to pray in season and out of season. They told us when we were younger that God didn't hear our prayers. I think that is one of the biggest fibs in the whole wide world, because when we pray from our heart, I believe that he hears us. And if he doesn't hear us, I believe that the heavenly angelic host hears us. And if they don't, then I believe that Jesus, the great intercessor, hears us. And either way, the message is going to get to the Father, whichever way you want to put that or have that to go. So be encouraged. Lift up your head, O ye gates, and be ye lifted up, ye everlasting doors. The King of glory shall come in. All right, so I'm going to go back to the interview, but I wanted to interject for a few moments just to get that off of my chest. And we're going to go back to this interview. Let's hear what they're talking about right now.
I like Brian. We should have had him on here with us. I like
Brian
him.
is somebody
awesome
special.
Personality. I didn't even meet him yet. Let me say this. 4 years ago, someone said, well, why do you say the things that you say or whatever? First of all, I'm biblical. Number one, I stand for righteousness. Number two, I acknowledge the Lord in all my ways so that he can direct my path. Number four, the Bible says, and I will allow nothing to come upon you unaware. That's what he said. So when things like this happen, I always seek the Lord. Lord, what's going to happen? Watch this. And as I begin to seek him, I prepare myself for how he's going to answer, because I'm definitely not going to agree with him. Why? Because his ways are higher than our ways.
Right.
We're never supposed to agree with God because he's God. We're not God. And so in 2016, I was minding my own business, and here come God, and we're having this conversation, and he begins to tell me, and a Republican will take the seat. I said, oh, Jesus, please don't make me say nothing, Lord. Just like that, I did. Please, God, don't make me say nothing. Get quiet. I hear the same thing again. I kept hearing it until I just, adhersed to it.
Yeah.
And again, not that I agreed, because I didn't understand. Why in the Blaisdell would you let this happen? And then I started shifting my perspective on the why and the message that he's sending to us. And I believe that everybody's missing it.
Right.
At the end of the day, we're all missing it because The opposer does not qualify, nor does Trump. It's God getting America's attention back, bringing our attention back to him. But this is necessary. Yeah. The voting is necessary. The debates, all of this is necessary. I don't agree with it, but I do believe that it's necessary.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you heard it. Now, you know what? I'm going to say this. And Donald Trump, before he was the president, I liked him too. Actually, I never had a problem with Donald Trump before he was the president. And as me being in the media field and I'm watching things, even when I watch movies now, when I watch TV shows, I'm watching it with a different eye. Obviously, for people that know me, doing video and stuff like that, I'm watching movies. I'm watching the cinematography. I'm watching how they're shooting things, they're acting. I'm watching how the audio sounds, this and that. But then, when it comes to this political stuff that's going on, I'm like watching it in a different view also now, especially because I have this platform. I have to do my homework. I always followed politics, but as much as I'm doing now it's almost like it's my job to follow it now. I really have to really watch all these things, so when I come on these shows, I know what I'm talking about, But Donald Trump, I never had a problem with him. But when you watch different shows like, okay, MSNBC, that's the channel I really watch. Sometimes I do CNN, but I'm more of a MSNBC person, not really into Fox News. I used to watch Fox News, stopped watching Fox News, but when they keep on saying Trump this, Trump that, Trump this, Trump that, and we all know how the media works. The media continues to say this and they continue to say that, and when they say it so many times, it's like just in your head,
So I want to stop right there and let's talk about the media. The media really does a bit too much. Okay. When we talk about the media, I think about us always giving out too much information in the United States. And I'm 56, I'll be 57 in a couple of weeks. And as long as I can remember, we've always given out, to me, too much information because, again, the land of the free, the freedom of speech, you got to know what to say and when to say it. And again, a lot of things are being spoken through the media concerning even our defense system, personal things that go on in our country. We never hear about the things that's going on in other countries. They keep a closed lid, a tight lid, if you will, on private information, important and pertinent information concerning the defense system, the hierarchy of how they're running their country. But over here, the land of the daggone free, we are always releasing information about what we're building, what we're planning to do, who said this, who said that. And I just think we need to take the advice of learning how to keep our mouth closed until the set time. And again, this is just my opinion. It is just my opinion. So moving forward, that's another thing that we want to pray about our media and what they're doing and then how they're doing that. The latter part of what I want to discuss today is going to make you laugh. Well, it made me laugh, but I'm going to get to that part of the interview and then we will be finished for this week. And I expect you guys to join us next week on the Gospel Ride. Here we go. Oops, let me see. I'm trying to get there. I'm enjoying this radio broadcast today. Thank you so much for joining. Here we go.
You guys are free, but I'm gonna kick you off this show.
No, don't kick him off. Don't kick him off the show.
Please. But you should never forget I can tell you everywhere where I found money. Okay?
Oh, we got to do another show on finding money.
I found money walking down the street.
No, grant money. There's so much things in America that you.
Yeah. I live in Delaware now, and I got Delaware somehow. I got Delaware to pay for me to go to CDLs, so I didn't have to come out my pocket. There is free money everywhere.
Come on here, Brian.
It's everywhere, but I'm gonna say, as Black people, we don't know where. First of all, because we're looked down upon when we get free money. Automatically, we're looked down upon. But I see, and I'm not trying to sound racist. I ain't trying to sound like bigot. Whatever word is out there. But I've seen Jewish people on them lines, and they're lawyers, they're doctors, they own their own business, but yet they somehow get that free money that's floating around. They get they get them EBT cards.
Oh yeah,
and nobody says anything. We actually laugh it off because half the time people know they're scheming. They say, "Look at them, Jewish people scheming," and laugh it off. But if one of us do it, it's gonna be on Facebook. It's going to be on Instagram. They're going to gossip. They're going to say this. They're going to say that and make us look so bad. Mm-hmm. I had friends of mine. I went on workers' comp for about a year because I hurt my back at work. And I had friends of mine talking so much junk. I had coworkers, actually not coworkers, my supervisor was having a briefing about me being on workers' comp. I said, why am I a topic? Don't y'all have planes to move?
Is that amazing? Listen, we're going to wrap it up today, and I'm going to close out with Kiara Sheard and Missy Elliott. Please don't judge me. Listen, we have a long way to go as a people. Doesn't matter who is in the White House. We know that God has everything in control, but we still going to do our part. If my people, which are called by my name, will humble themselves and pray and seek my face, turn from their wicked ways, we will hear from heaven. This is your girl, Dr. Jill, on the Gospel Ride. Thank you for joining Rough Riders Radio. Amen. We have about 45 seconds, and I want to rock this beat for y'all. Here we go. See y'all next week.